everyone, welcome to another video. So today we will be learning about hypothesis testing. In this video I want to elaborate the differences between null and alternative hypothesis, also the one-tailed versus two-tailed tests. Okay, so let's start first with the null hypothesis. So it says here that null hypothesis is an initial claim. Initial claim based on previous analysis, which the researcher tries to disprove, reject, or nullify. So it shows no significant difference between two parameters. So during hypothesis testing, we want to reject the null hypothesis. As always, our aim is to reject the null hypothesis. So another words for putting null hypothesis is that it shows no significant difference between two parameters. I'll elaborate it more with an example later. So, alternative hypothesis is the contrary to the null hypothesis, which shows that observations are the result of a real effect. So, to illustrate this more further, let's read this example here. The school record claims that the mean score in math of the incoming grade 11 student is 81. The teacher wishes to find out if the claim is true. She tests if there is a significant difference between the batch mean score and the mean score of the students in her class. So, in Bisaya, naay ang mga grade 11 nga students sa kana nga eskwelahan kay ang ilahang mean score, ilang average score sa math is 81. So, ang teacher gusto niya mahibaw-an na kana bang 81 nga score kay tinuod pud ba ka na or applicable pud ka na sa iyahang estudyante na yang gihandulan sa iyang klase. Okay? So kaning 81 nga score, this 81 here is what we call the population mean. Okay? This is the population mean denoted by mu. And the mean score is what? Denoted by x bar. Okay, I'll write it here ha. So, what's the difference between mu and x bar, class? Mu is the population mean, and this can be called the sample mean, or in this problem this can also be mean scores. So both of mu and x bar, both of these are averages. So when you see the symbol mu, you will know that mu is the population. This is true for all. I mean, true for that population in general. However, this x bar here is the sample mean or the mean score is true for that specific group of people or true for that sample from the population mean. Okay, I hope that's clear. So let's go back. The teacher wishes to find out if the claim is true. She tests if there is a significant difference between the batch mean score and the mean score of students in her class. So let's formulate the hypothesis here. Hypothesis. So the null hypothesis is denoted by H sub 0. So previously we talked about the null hypothesis is the initial claim. So the initial claim from the problem is that oh sorry, the initial claim is that there's no significant difference between the population mean and the sample mean, the batch mean score and the mean score of the students in her class. So ang atong initial claim is that walay kalahian ang score sa math sa whole school and ang score sa mga estudyante. So here we should write there is no significant difference between the batch score and the score in her class. So this is mathematically, this is telling us that mu is what? Equal to x bar, right? Which is what? Or mu is equal to 81. Another way of telling this is also correct, guys, ha. If you write your null hypothesis in this way, like you won't use these words no significant difference. You can write this as the batch score, batch mean. We're talking about mean here, mean scores. The batch mean score is the same or equal to the class mean score. So this term is also correct. So we're not claiming that in the problem again, ha, we're not claiming, or the contrary for that is wala ta nag-claim kung mas dako ba og score ka na nga section sa iyang class kaysa overall, right? So we just assume that our alternative hypothesis is there is a significant difference between the batch mean score and the class mean score. Or in other words, mu is not equal to x bar, or mu is not equal to 81. So another way of saying this is the batch mean score is not the same or not equal to the class mean score. That is also correct. Okay? So in hypothesis testing, there are two types of tests. So we have two-tailed test versus one-tailed. So two-tailed tests, it is a two-tailed test if the alternative hypothesis looks something like this. If population mean is not equal to a given value, or the sample mean, or each sub alternative is mu is not equal to the mu sub 0. So the mu sub 0 means a given value. It's a specified value, not necessarily the sample mean, but a specific value. Okay, it is a one-tailed test. It can either be right or left. So if your alpha, I know, if your h sub a is looks something like this, this is a right-tailed test. It's one-tailed and it's right-tailed. So let's go back to the two-tailed test. So if you have a two-tailed test, your rejection region would look like this. I know that from my previous video, kay, although it's one-tailed test, but I still use this one. But the correct way is this. Mugamit kay igani. You have two rejection. You have two rejection regions if if your test is two-tailed, or your alternative hypothesis looks like this, and your alpha here is divided by 2 as always. In the right-tailed test, it looks like this or this. Your rejection region would look like this one. Here is your rejection region. This is for right-tailed. For left-tailed, we have it would look something like this. Less than population mean is less than the sample mean, or the population mean is less than a specific value or given value, and the rejection region is here. From my previous example, let's say here, I know that I used although the test is I think it's somewhere here. I know that there are tests here which are actually one-tailed, but I use this instead. It is still correct. It's still a correct representation, but to follow the rules, you should know that the rejection region for one-tailed and two-tailed tests looks different, but the answers here in this video is still correct. So let's go back here. So this is what it looks like. So if you're not familiar, confidence level, dense level, and level of significance. You know the differences between these two? I've discussed before that confidence level is actually 1 minus alpha times 100%. This is when we say I'm 95% confident to make this to do to believe this conclusion or to derive this decision. Kung may kag percent imo answer, that is a confidence level. I'm 95% sure that this is correct, right? Or something like that. That is the CL. The alpha is known as the level of significance. So it is the degree of significance whether we accept or reject the null hypothesis. So this is what the basis of our rejection. If we reject the null or fail to reject the null. So the most common values for alpha is 1% and 5%. Sometimes there are more and more studies using 10%. So this is 0.01, 0.05. These alpha values are very common. Okay, especially these two. Okay. So I have some I research a a meme here. I think it's this one. To err is human. So there are cases that um, there are cases in which okay, you, there are cases na masayop ang tao. And um, this is two errors na pwede mabuhat sa ka-researcher. There's type 1 error and type 2 error. So, type 1 error is when you reject the null when it's true. You reject the null when it's true. And type 2 error is when you accept the null when it is false. Accept the null when it is false. So again, let me write this down. There are two types of errors. We have type 1 and type 2 errors. To err is human, so we are bound to make mistakes one way or another. So rejecting, this happens when rejecting HO when it is true. And type 2 happens when accepting HO when it is false. So I'm going to write a problem here, a situational study. So according to survey, you may fast forward this one while I write this. According to a survey, or else you can write with me in your notes. According to a survey, the average daily usage of social media worldwide of global internet is internet users amount to is 142 minutes for per day. How much is that? It's roughly more than 2 hours, 2 hours and 20 minutes. Say calculate 142 divided by 60. Okay, that's 2 hours and 36 minutes per day. Sophia, let's say we have Sophia here. Sophia conducts her own survey. Among her 5 friends to find out if their time spent on social media is significantly higher than the global survey at 95% confidence level. So let's say that we have a problem like this. So let's make up a data here. So how many friends does Sophia have? Let's say we have friends, and let's create a table here. Number of minutes spent on social media. Spent on social media, SM, per day. Let's say Sophia has 5 friends. We have Ornest spends 132 minutes per day. City 148. Fame 165. Julius 157. And Princess 120. Okay, so I think let's solve what we're given. So our mu here is the population mean. It should be in what is the mean population mean of the time where amount of time of the average daily usage of social media worldwide. So it is mentioned that it's 142 minutes. Okay, our x bar here is what? The sum of this divided by 5. The sum of this divided by 5. Okay, 132 plus 132 plus 148 plus 165 plus 157 plus 120 divided by 5. That's 144. 144 hours. So, what are the other given? We have alpha here. The alpha here is 0.05. Why? Because the level of confidence interval, confidence level is 95%. So the alpha is 0.05. So what else? We know that the samples is 5 because she has 5 friends. Okay. What else do we need to have? Oh, we should have also the standard deviation, sample standard deviation. Right? For the standard deviation, guys, I think I should have inserted it in the problem here. So, users amount is to 142 minutes per day. Sophia conducts her own survey among her 5 friends to find out if there's let's say per day. And let's insert something here. Day. And the SD or standard deviation is, let's say, 10 minutes. So, let's go back. Let's see, our S here is 10 minutes. Since this one is less than 30, we know that this is T distributed, right? So, T is what? x sub bar minus mu over s over square root of n, which is 142 minus 1 x bar is 144. 144 minus 142 over 10 over square root of 5, which is 2 over 10 over square root of, no, what is square root of? Okay, how, sheesh, square root of 5 square root 1.71. Oh, shush. 1.71. So let's say 10 divided by 1.71 is 5.85. 2 over 5.85. 2 divided by 5.85, which is 0. What's that? 0.341. Oh no, 342. 34. Let's just say it 13419. Round to the nearest 4. That, okay. Great. So let's look for, we have the t value here, which is 0.3419. So in conducting hypothesis testing, the order should come first, stating the HO and HA. So the null hypothesis is what? Here, Sophia conducts her own survey among her 5 friends to find out if their time spent on social media is significantly higher than the global survey at 95% confidence level. So Sophia assumes that mu is less than x bar, and here is mu is not is equal to x bar. We know that this is what we know how this is written in words, right? There's no significant difference. There's no and continue, and there is okay. So when we solve for our we know that our alpha here is 0.05. Why? Because we know that confidence level is 1 minus alpha times 100%. So if this is 95%, and this is 1 minus alpha 100%, then this is what? 95 over 100, 1 minus alpha, or what? 0.95 equals 1 minus alpha, and this is what? Alpha is equal to 0.05. Then we solve for the step 3 is we solve for t value, which we already solved. This is 0.3419. How about the t critical value? We solve for that as well in step number 4. So we know that since this is less than 5 and this is t distributed, so we have b equals n minus 1. So we have the degrees of freedom is 5 minus 1, which is 4. So let's go back to our t table here. So again, in this problem, this is what it assumes that mu is less than the sample, right? We're assuming that this is true. So this is a left-tailed test. We assume that the scores of her friends, I mean the number of minutes of her friends spent on social media per day is higher than the global record. So our T crit here is what? Since it's 0.05, and RV is 4, so this is 2.132. Okay, our critical values are 2.132. So here it is plus minus 2.132. And then number 5 step is our decision. Number 5 is decision. So if you look at this, finding the critical value, we have out of habit I assumed again. So this is only positive 2. This is left-tailed. So we're looking for the T crit here. We already found the T critical value, which is 2.132, and since this is a left-tailed, our T crit should look something like this, negative 2.132. If it's two-tailed, if it's not equal, we use the sign plus minus, implying that we also have plus 2.132 here. But this is a one-tailed problem. This was my mistake in the previous video, guys. So this shouldn't be it. It's 2.32, and since it's left-tailed, it's 2.132. So this is the rejection region for the two-tailed, and we know that 0.341 is somewhere here. So this decision is, do not reject HO. So for number 6 part is the conclusion. We could say, therefore, at 95% level of confidence, the null hypothesis is not rejected. Therefore, there is no sufficient evidence to conclude that mu, the population mean 142, is greater than the sample mean, which is 144. So here, observe this class. So our sample mean is actually greater than the what? Population mean, right? So on average, Sophia's friends spend a significantly higher time on social media compared to the global record, right? So what type of error is this one? We accept, we fail to reject the mean, we fail to reject the null hypothesis when it is what? False. We accept the HO when it is false. And what type of error is that again? Accepting HO when it is false. That is type 2 error. So in this study here, we just committed a type 2 error. Because when we computed for the sample mean, 144 is actually greater than 142. We should have rejected the null hypothesis and and believe this one, right? This ang X bar kay mo man ni ang record siyang friends, siyang 5 friends. We should have believed this one. So we just committed a type 2 error. So this is the step for the hypothesis testing. So my activity for you is to um, use the same problem, where Sophia's problem, but here you should use alpha here should be 0.01 and what okay, and this one namoy i-add your n. No, I can't do that. Let's just say we have another for your activity ha. Your you write your answers in a 1/4 sheet of paper. So you have here Jane and Marie, 112 minutes and 137. These are new additions. So in your activity, this one, so your new n is what? 1, no, 7. 5 plus 2, we added 2 new people. And the s here is, instead of using this 10 minutes standard deviation, use 19 minutes. So your standard deviation is 19. Okay, so you solve for this and you solve for the sample mean of those 7 friends, and of course the mu here is still 142. So your claim here, your H sub O should be mu is not equal to x bar, and is equal to x bar. Write this in words on your own. Actually, write this instead of 1/4, use 1/2. And your alternative is, instead of saying that you assume that your friends have higher uh higher time spent on social media, let's just say that you do not assume any of it, and you're just saying that it is not equal somehow. Okay, so do this one, do the six steps, do the 6 steps here. Okay, so I hope you learned something. 12:28. Okay, thank you for watching. Good morning, everyone.